Hey guys, what it do? What the business is?
It looks like another week in the books with the On Deck
Mm.
TV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown. If you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely, I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. How you holding up out there?
Mhm. Man, I'm super good. Smith Oak, slow motion, man. Nothing really to report. What you got popping?
Man, same thing. Slow motion, low key, like a midget locksmith. But
Yeah.
team for the new listeners, I know y'all liked that. For the old listeners, a oldie but goodie.
A hundred
Yeah,
percent.
slow motion, man. You waiting on the seasons to change. It's gonna get cold out there. No big shit plan. I think I'm going to the Cowboys game for the Thanksgiving Day game
Who they
against the
playing?
Raiders.
I said L.
No,
I said L.
Super Bowl bound, baby. Let's go. Try to have that weak ass Piston shirt on. Basketball season doesn't matter. It's all about the Braves and the Cowboys. Shout out the Braves.
We're starting the pot off with delusion. Guys, we got a fantastic episode lined up. Nas is teaching a master class. Gucci Mane and his 1017 crew protest at Howard. And we review Young Thug's latest album, Punk. Yes, a Young Thug review. This should be
Can't
really
wait.
good.
Exciting. Can't
Yeah.
wait.
If you can't tell, I am ecstatic to talk about this Young Thug album. But first things first, guys, Fat Joe, your man's, has been making his viral rounds this year. I promise
Price
he's
just
went
went up.
viral about 7 times this year.
Price went up. What's it saying?
Yesterday's price is not
Yesterday's
today's
price is
price.
not today's price, especially for Fat Joe.
Fat Joe is on the menu again because while at the BET Awards the other week, during the Rap City segment, he was asked who would he consider to be the modern day Tupac, and he answered without hesitation, the baby. Said the baby is the new Tupac. My question to you, was he way the fuck off, or can you kind of see where he's coming from?
First of all, you big gassing it without hesitation. That nigga hesitated thoroughly. It was so shout out to Fat Joe for not just spewing out bullshit. Like this wasn't on the top of his mind. The headline is nuts. I had to go look at it based off that and see, like, well, did he really say this or did he hesitate? To his credit, he did. Segment was whack. They was taking old rappers and comparing them to new rappers. So you're gonna step in some shit there if you're Fat Joe.
Yeah.
I get it again off the top of your dome if you're talking about the baby and Tupac with the antics and as much as he's been in the news lately. So his reaction to Big Tigger's question and having to think about it and damn, I'm on the spot. I get it. Fat Joe, though, is smart enough to know that the baby is no Tupac. Not on his best day is he Tupac on Tupac's worst day. It'll never happen. I like if you give it more thought, Fat Joe, you also would say this. Nobody thinks this. The ludicrous comparison that Little Duval made about the baby earlier in the year, spot on. That is who the baby is, and that's not a knock. That's not a spite. He's just not Tupac on in his dreams. He also made a comment on IG, which enraged me even more, talking about, yeah, I agree with it, but the haters are gonna throw the salt on it. You know why they're gonna throw the salt on it, my nigga? Because it's not true. You're not Tupac, baby.
So here's the thing: whenever anybody compares themselves to or is compared to another rapper, I have to know in what way are you referring to? Are you
Okay.
saying that they make similar music? Are you saying that their personality and character is the same? How, in what way are they the same? Because Ludacris and the baby, I can understand you saying that from a musical and a visual standpoint, like on the videos and the creativity, but they're two different people, though. Like the baby is more of a street trap artist, and Ludacris wasn't that at all. So that's the question. How is Pac and Baby related? And his comparison, he said, was rooted in the fact that they were both real individuals, that they believed what it was that they rapped about to be true. We know some of the stories with the baby. We've seen the viral clips of him in Atlanta shooting a video, getting pressed by Atlanta goons, not barring or stunting any of them, and continuing to do exactly what he was doing before they walked up when they tried to press him. We know what happened to him in the mall with the other North Carolina rapper, and we know what happened to in Walmart, thanks to Dave Chappelle special bringing that back into the news cycle. So, and we also know what happened with Pac, with the off-duty police officers, and when he ran into Orlando Anderson, like Pac he wanted the smoke for the most part, and the baby does too. So if we're doing it from that lens and that lens only, okay, then that's a fair comparison. No. I'm disappointed in Rap City because that was a terrible question. Tigger, holler at your folks. We'll get you some better questions, some better writing, some better topics. Asking somebody on the spot with no prep whatsoever who's the modern day Jay-Z is not fair. And it's some slaw, it's corny, and you're going to get a whack ass answer like he said. Same for the modern day Pac. Do better, BET.
You're way off. Even with the there have been off the mic troubles, if you want to call it, or whatever it may be, with them outside of the booth. That is comparable. And yeah, I do feel like the baby is real. Well, let me say Fat Joe is off. Maybe not you. He could be real and believe what he rap, but I still doesn't make him Tupac. I think a lot of the baby's scenarios, what he made news were self-inflicted wounds. If you look back at Tupac stuff, a lot of that he didn't have a lot to do with. The 2 off-duty police officers that he shot, that's a lot different from what the baby had going on. And even in his bad press, I think Tupac had a lot more meaning to his career and his antics than the baby does. So again, Fat Joe was put on the spot. I won't hold this against him, but even when you tell me that that was his reasoning, nah, that don't line up. Because like there's a lot of rappers are real and believe what they say. That don't make them Tupac. Like there was a lot more that went with Tupac's career, and I think that's discrediting him if that's what he's using as well. I guess
it makes him 1/16 of Pac. That's all.
If that. If that.
Real quick, they asked Fat Joe went on live to clear it up and explain his answer, talking about how he was put on the spot and all blah blah blah. And he asked people, "Who's the modern day Pac?" He wanted them to comment on his IG live. The comments were all over the place, dude. Somebody said J. Cole. Nigga, somebody said NBA Youngboy. Somebody said Kevin Gates. Somebody said Nipsey. Somebody said Boosie.
Yeah, I don't think there's a modern day Tupac.
Of course not.
His music was way too impactful, and not knocking any of those people. Like Tupac was different from them.
Yeah, no, he was a mega super duper star, one in a million.
And it was the first time that we had seen that, like that type of attention being paid to a rapper. Mm-hmm. Like everyone else, regardless of what they say, is some sort. You said 1/16. Yeah. All the rappers in today's game, whether they thugs or real or not, took a little bit from Tupac. Whether it be I'm making a song about my mom or the ladies song, like all of that shit, Pac had a little bit of it in his arsenal. He was the first nigga to have it, like all.
Yeah, for sure.
We might have been bigging up Tupac a lot, but he was worth it. If you young cats don't believe it, go check him out. Mm-hmm. Speaking of our legends, my guy Bun B, he was doing an interview here recently on B Heights podcast. And he said that Puff approached his wife, because she's the decision maker, and he told her, Bun B's wife, that he was going to sign UGK. And he told her the amount of money that he was going to give UGK, and he told her what he was going to have for Pimp C when Pimp C got home. And they got in the car. Bun B's wife asked Bun B, when are we going to New York to get the paperwork done? Bun B said, no, that's not going to happen. Question to you, 20-something odd years in hindsight, was that a good move or a bad move for UGK?
Man, I think it was a good move. I think it was a really good move. And that was a really dope story that he told, because I never knew this personally. This was around the time that Bad Boy had just signed 8Ball MJG, if y'all remember that time. And Pimp C was still locked up, getting ready to come home. Well, he was locked up, not getting ready to come home. He was locked up. and Bun was saying, I didn't want Pimp to come home to be employed by someone else. He wanted Pimp to come home to UGK Records and for our own situation to be on. And he wanted just to keep his name alive. He said, man, look, if I can just keep Pimp's name alive, then when he comes home, it'll work. That's why you got the legendary Free Pimp C movement that we saw in the early to mid 2000s. That was the origins of that. So I thought that was a super dope story and a very smart move. Unfortunately, we know what happened. Pimp C came home a couple, not too much longer after he came home, he passed away. But Bun B did have a relatively successful solo career. And I would argue that his solo career was more successful than 8Ball MJG's run on Bad Boy, which gave us 2 albums, but didn't really make any noise. And then they ended up signing a Grand Hustle after that really didn't make any noise. And they kind of tailed off after that. So I think in hindsight, it was a smart move, although I'm sure that bag was tempting.
Yeah, that bag had to be tempting. And that's a good starting point for me as far as the answer. Like the approach by Puff was disgusting.
That was
Like
nasty.
you put a nigga in a position where you didn't told his lady, like, I'm gonna change y'all life, like right now. I
That
know
was
that nigga
nasty.
been telling you the pillow talk dreams of what he gonna do for UGK, and this is gonna what happen when Pimp get home if they do this and that and the third. But my nigga, this Bad Boy money is real.
Yeah.
And all y'all got to do is sign right here on the dotted line, and I'm gonna change y'all life. And not to say that UGK wasn't successful at this
Right.
point, but what Puff was talking about, I'm sure, was life changing. What at least Bun B said it was. And I agree with you. That's a dope ass story and a dope answer. And he said that it did cause contention in his marriage.
Yeah.
Like, I got to bet on myself here. And again, like, it's disgusting how Puff approached him. But that's what that's why Puff is Puff.
Yeah.
He knew who to talk to, what to say, and what to do. He probably had an idea where Bun B was in his career. It ain't the Bun B that we see now. It
Right.
wasn't the Bun B that we saw go on the run pre Free Pimp C, but
Yep.
he bet on himself, man, and that was dope. I like that he said, I don't want my brother to come home after work for somebody.
Yep.
We built this shit up ourselves. When he come home, I want him to be a boss. A lot of niggas talk that shit about boss and this and that, but not a lot of people are willing to bet on themselves like Bun B did in this situation. And even though it is Puff, even though the success is right there, you see it. You see what he's done for other people. It goes to what we always say, the difference between, in my opinion, Southern artists and other artists. Southern artists are more willing to grind and do it themselves. You can buy it out the trunk. I'm gonna make my money, my nigga. I ain't gotta sign nothing. I love it.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm trying to imagine what they would have sounded like and what type of momentum they would have had if they would have signed the same time as 8Ball MJG, because Puff was going after both of them, and that may have rejuvenated Bad Boy in maybe a certain way because there's strength in numbers. So maybe 8Ball MJG on Bad Boy alone didn't really do too much, but if you combine that with signing UGK and Pimp C coming home, maybe that creates more of a movement and maybe there's more of a splash when that happens. Who knows? Obviously, we'll never know, but that's cool to kind of think of. But I can't see Pimp C really getting along with Puff like that. No way, though. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah, and that was probably one of the reasons and one of the things that Bun B considered. Like, I can't just
Exactly.
do this. My man's in jail. I tell this man, yes, he come home and boom, that he can't deal with, so quote unquote, the boss. Nah,
Yeah.
that's not cool. But
Can you see Puff and Pimp C just like getting into it?
nah, but Pimp C gonna bow down. I mean, excuse me, Puff gonna bow down though. Puff know who to pull that shit on, and like, he ain't pulling that band shit on Pimp C. Ain't no walking to get cheesecake, my nigga. Ain't none of that. And he probably, again, when we Big said this. Big said that yelling. Like, I can't think of what interview. But he's like, all of that shit that you see with Puff, we really don't have the same type of relationship.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
like peers. And I think it would have been the same thing with Pimp C. But Puff gonna do Puff too. It probably would have got a little heated, and I would have loved to see it.
that's
But I don't think it would have got too far though. I would have loved to see it though.
real quick. That interview is Beehive. He down here in Atlanta. It's a really dope interview. 2 quick notes from that interview. He gave a really dope Pimp C story about Big Pimpin', which he's told the story of how the song came about. Pimp didn't really want to do it. That's why he's only got 8 bars on the song. He
Right.
didn't want to do the video. That's why he didn't go
Leftovers
to
from Glory Velez.
Turks and Caicos or wherever the fuck that's why they call him in Miami. But they said he pulled up to Miami with the gal that he was that he was seeing at the time with the
Glory
minks on and
Alabama.
everything. And Jay was like, "Fam, we in Miami, bro. Like it's 90 degrees, pimp. Like you know how hot in the mink." Man, Bun said Pimp turned to him and said, "Nigga, TV ain't got no temperature, nigga," and walked off. I said, "That's hard. That's hard as fuck."
He told that story on this the real. That is hard.
TV ain't got no temperature is
He
fucking
ain't got no temperature.
hilarious.
New one.
And
Mhm.
the verses is coming soon too. He said the verses between UGK and Pimp and A Ball MJG is on deck. He said it's been on deck for a couple of months. They were supposed to go. They were supposed to go when the Patti LaBelle battle happened, and it pushed them back. And then after the Patti LaBelle, the Isley Brothers happened, and he said they got pushed down the thing. He said they've already submitted the songs and everything. He said they got to submit the songs and everything beforehand. They got to do all that. He said it's already been done.
I can't believe he got pushed back for Patti LaBelle and
Yeah,
whoever.
Gladys.
Gladys Knight.
You can
Jeez.
believe that. Stop that.
Can
You can
I?
believe that. Stop.
I guess, man, that ain't. I get the Patti LaBelle and that. I get that verses, but I'm not pushing back 8 Ball and MJG and Bun B for it. Like this is what you did it for. This is part of the culture that you
You
did
are
it
if you Triller. If you Triller, you are.
maybe. That
That's
probably is
all.
the lowest rated verses that it is, right?
What?
I'm willing to guess that one had the least amount of views. The
The
Patti
Patti
LaBelle.
LaBelle?
Yes. Am I
No.
wrong?
Yeah,
Did
no,
you
that was
watch it?
popping. That was popping.
Did you did you watch it?
I did. Yeah.
Really? I
I'm
ain't
dead
watched
ass.
the
I watched that one
second
in the
one.
Isleys. He said that one pushed it back too.
The Isley Brothers, you notice I didn't mention that. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
I get that. I 100% get that, but I don't know about the other one.
But he said it's on the way, man. So we'll see. Man, next up, artist from Gucci Mane's 1017. They are on a tour right now of HBCUs, which is super dope. However, when they got to Howard, there was a whole damn protest going on with the students due to living conditions in the dorms. So instead of performing, they decided to do a sit-in along with the students. Do you think that was a cool or a corny move, man?
Man, shout out to the 1017 artists led by Big Scar.
Okay.
I think this was a cool move. What was going on, living conditions in the dorm room at Howard University, rats, rodents, they said, mold, roaches, just unlivable conditions. And when 1017 heard about it, they were supposed to perform for homecoming this weekend. They said, "Now you know what? Since you guys are going through this, we gonna stand with y'all, and ain't gonna be no shows, anything until they fix this." That is fire.
Yeah.
My only gripe with this is it's not getting as many headlines as I feel like it should. This should be the time that people come together, as to not to sound corny, but as much things and complaining as you see on social media. I've spoken many times here before about the love that we should be showing the HBCUs in our culture. Again, another opportunity. 1017's Big Skrilla, Big Scar, Big Fizzle, and the rest of those guys are doing a great job, but they could use some support from the rest of the guys in the industry. Hey, throw some money at it. Hey, this is what we're doing. All of these things matter. These are the next generation of Black leaders. People are always alluding to us not having them. It starts at the HBCUs, taking care of these kids. And this is a dope move, I feel like, that they did.
You know what? Now, first of all, it is a dope move. Let's be clear. I think it would have gotten more attention if Gucci Mane was present as well, but this was just the team, not just, but you know what I'm saying. He's the headliner. He's the big name that draws eyes. Everybody doesn't know who Big Walk Dog is, or everybody don't know who Hot Boy West is. So it's not going to hit quite the same. However, I'm not too mad that this isn't getting blown up because I don't necessarily want Howard to be all on the news just known for having rats in their dorm rooms. Like that's a problem that they can fix relatively easy. They can make a call 1-800-PEST, whoever the fuck is in DC. They can fix that. That's not that big of a deal. So I don't want HBCUs to get a bad name and for this to be plastered on Fox News. The first time they ever talk about an HBCU is because they have roaches in the dorm room. Like I don't want it to turn into that. So this needs to be handled. I thought that they did the right job of these artists being the one. It's just enough attention to spark a little bit of a flame under whoever runs Howard to get that shit situated and quickly, but not too much to make it a big deal and paint HBCUs with a broad brush.
Not decent point. First, what you said about Gucci, I feel like the difference between where Gucci Man wants to be with 1017 and where he is now is his name being attached and not attached to this. Other artists take the opportunity, whether it's Yo Gotti and CMG doing stuff for prison reform in Mississippi, or it's Jay-Z and Rock Nation. You brought up a great point. Their name is always out in the front of that.
That's true.
Gucci Man should have took some time out to be like, Gucci Man and 1017 support this, whether I'm there or not. My young guys tapped in. I taught them well. They making sure that this go right. Now, you bring up a great point also about the bad press. No, I don't want the bad press plastered all over Fox News as well. But the same way we get the Shade Room and the other media sources that we have, black people, I would love to see it there. I listen to a Black Information News Network podcast every morning. It's 12 minutes, Black issues. I ain't talking. I don't want to see it on CNN. I don't want to see it on Fox News, but I do feel like there's a flyer that should go up in the community when things like this happen. Like, hey, I got the that's what I want to see on people's Instagram. I saw this and I got the exterminate out there that day to Howard coming from some big star. I got such and such out there to take care of the mold last night as soon as I read it. Those are the type of the actions that I'm talking about. So I'm glad you brought that up so I could clarify. No, I don't want to see them getting dogged out. I want to see the results and the actions of people taking time to do something about it. And also, you can talk. I'll find the place where you can go on IG to help out too.
Man, I wonder if they got paid or not from doing a sit-in for the concert.
Because they still showed up.
That's the first thing I think about, dude.
My fault.
Did they
and get paid? Another thing too, like on a lighter note, like these niggas, it's more commendable because these niggas, I'm sure, not booked and busy. I ain't knocking.
You never know, man.
They on the chitlin circuit, like they can't just be turning down shows.
I know they grind. They're grinding for sure.
Yeah,
it ain't no question about that.
It's the Blackburn Takeover is the name of the sit-in that they're calling it. They said you go to the live movement on IG. They need tents, sleeping bags, blankets, pillows, air mattresses, yoga mats, outside camping supplies for the sit-in. Again, the name of the IG site is the Live LIVE movement. Check them out.
That's crazy. They need sleeping bags, man.
Well, they protesting outside.
Ah, that's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So they need supplies to help them with the protest.
That's
they don't need sleeping bags for the dorm. Like, that would be nuts. All right. Moving on to a lighter note before we get into this Young Thug Punk review.
Yeah.
Man, Nas is teaching a master class on storytelling. Commercial was dope. Dropped a single for it. What a rollout. Shout out to Nas, man, in this phase of his career, man. I can't say much about it. Enough about it, excuse me. But he's teaching a master class. My question to you, one, Animal Brown, are you going to sign up for that master class and check out Nas's storytelling? And two, what other rapper would you want to see a master class from, and what subject would they cover?
First of all, shout out to Masterclass. That's a pretty dope thing. If you're not familiar, they take celebrities and people who are experts, top of their field.
Not just celebrities. These niggas, but you can't just be famous. Like Kim Kardashian, they know when they're talking. These are big dogs.
They take most of these people you've heard of, but if you haven't, they're big dogs in their industry and they're teaching classes on whatever industry that is. So you're getting the best of the best from the best. So that's super dope. Nas, of course, is a top tier artist, obviously. And so storytelling, he's probably arguably the best storyteller in rap history, at least in our generation. So this is super dope. Love it. The rapper I would want to see, well, first of all, I'm not signing up. I don't rap. However, I do think it's cool. And if I did rap, I would be interested in signing up. That's number one.
To be a rapper to tell a good story.
Right? That's true, but I think he's telling in the context of rap, though, right? I would assume.
He's just telling you how to write a good story. Like the thought process is that you use his masterclass if you're a writer, not a rapper.
Okay, just period.
Just creating content.
I might check it out then, honestly. That's actually super dope.
It's like it ain't nothing, but I want to say like $99. The only thing, the caveat, you have to pay it all up front. So they get you Like I like the monthly subscription model.
Oh, so it's like for a whole year or something?
Yeah, you got to pay. Like if you sign up, you got to pay everything up front. They was running a buy one get one free special not too long ago. That's pretty cool. But
Oh,
yeah, they know
damn.
$14.99 a month thing. You got to pay like I think it's $149 or something like that.
Okay. Well,
Not
I
bad.
mean, it's an investment, so that I would look at it like that. But that's super dope. If I had to see another rapper on there, I would probably go somebody like Big Sean on like in terms of flow. I think he's got one of the most unique flows and approaches to rap, and so I would love to see how he puts that shit together, how he decides to do what on what track. And then on the another side, I would take a producer and maybe somebody like a Hit Boy, and talk about how they break down like samples and making a beat from scratch. I think that should just be cool for my personal liking because I'm a fan of that type of stuff. Especially when you look at the clip of Gilly going around with Metro Boomin when he made the beat live or whatnot. Like that's always dope to me. And so shout out to that too. I don't know if y'all have seen that clip, but Metro Boomin was on $1 million worth of game and he made a beat live with a sample. Of course, the beat ended up to be fire. Gilly freestyled over it. It was pretty dope. So that would be my masterclass. I think it's dope. Who would you like to see?
Um, just to give some feedback to the people who were wondering, it's $15 a month, and you have to pay it annually. So you pay $180 up front, and you get 12 months. You pick a couple of classes. You tell them what you're interested in. Gordon Ramsay is on there. Chris
That
Voss.
nigga teaching cooking? God damn.
Yeah, they got him teaching cooking. They got James Cameron teaching filmmaking.
That's
Like it's a
all.
dope concept.
No,
And
it's
they take
super
like
dope. And it's well produced too. Like it look hard.
tough. It ain't hard to digest. Like they take
No.
15-minute videos and just teach it to you. Yeah, I think this is dope. I loved it. Nas says it's about hip hop storytelling. So
Okay.
he's telling you how to tell stories in hip hop. You were right.
Yeah.
Mine is easy. First thing I thought of with this man is Master P. Marketing 101.
Mm,
Give it to me all day, every day, twice on Sundays. Pause.
yeah.
Master P Marketing 101. Teach me how to engage people, make stuff hot. Like the whole run that he had. You guys know that we're big no limitologists, no limit heads on this podcast, being raised from the South. I would pay for that tomorrow. I've been on the fence about doing this for different classes like cooking and writing, but if I seen that Master P had a master class, they would have had my money already.
Yeah.
And second behind that, I would do Baby, the music business. I would love to hear him talk about the music business. And an example was that clip that he had when he was talking about how he paid out all that money or whatnot. I
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
love to I just love to hear him talk about his success in the music business and teaching people how to do that. That would be fine. So Master P and Baby would be mine.
That's respectable and acceptable. You could always go. It's 100 people, man. We
Oh,
at the end of the year, we always do our guess who's coming to dinner for Thanksgiving. The people we invite that we talking about, they all got specialties. They'd all would drop dumb jewels. So like, there's hella people that would work for this. But yeah, I'm here for that. I'm here for that shit too.
definitely.
I gotta meet P, man. P up at TSU. I gotta meet that nigga. I gotta pull
Yeah, I
up.
got to pull up to a game. Shout out to Penny, man, and the TSU, another HBCU doing their thing. The TSU basketball team. What's P's son name? I don't know his
Percy.
name. Percy, young Percy.
Hersey.
Hersey with an
Yeah.
H.
Yeah.
He's playing at TSU this year, man. So y'all check that out.
And now, finally, for the moment no one has been waiting for, guys, we have a brand new album review.
The much anticipated
No, not quite.
superstar.
Not quite. Not quite. We've got the new album from Jeffrey Williams. It's called Punk. You may know
Call
him as
Jeffrey
Young
Williams.
Thug. It is. It looks like his name Jeffrey. This
Definitely
is
like Jeffrey.
this is the sophomore album. This is only his second album. His first album was technically his first album is So Much Fun that came out like 2 years ago. And so technically this is his second album. We're gonna get into it, man.
How is that possible?
I mean, mixtape, they don't count that mixtape shit as albums, dude.
Jesus, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's me neither. I'm
This the
tripping
first
off
Young
it.
Thug album. This first Young Thug album I listened to.
You listen to, we reviewed the last one, so there's that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to.
I don't blame you. I didn't want to. I didn't want to listen to this one either. Where was your anticipation level in regards to this Punk? Because this was teased as he was going to be more lyrical. He talked about this maybe a year ago. He was going to be more lyrical on his album. So there was a little bit of air quote hype around it. Where were you when leading up to this? Were you interested at all? Were you looking forward to it? Talk to me.
Yes. I've been on the Young Thug train lately. If you've been listening to the show, his guest features, I've definitely been commending him for them as of late. I understand the vibe more so than I have before. Even though I remember a long time on this show when we used to play songs that Stoner, when we used to review the songs, I was on that way early, and that was like his first song.
Yeah.
But I digress to now. And Young Thug, this album, I wasn't highly anticipating it because it isn't my style of rap, but I was more interested than I have ever been before in a Young Thug album just because I'm more open to his style now.
Yeah.
What about you? Were you waiting on this?
Absolutely not. I'm not a Thug fan. You alluded to it.
Shocker.
Yeah, we have been. He is one of the artists who have emerged since we've been doing the podcast. We started this in 2013. He came out shortly after. I didn't like it then. As a matter of fact, I hated it then. But the reason that I hated it though, and I'm on record, and I really wish I could find this clip. I just don't feel like going back and trying to listen to this shit.
Because you're a hater?
No. What I said then that my problem was going to be was that not only the fact that I couldn't really get into him, but I knew that people were going to take that style and try to emulate it. And that's really what was going to be some slaw, because there would be multiple mini me Young Thugs coming behind him, trying to make the sound effects and the noise and sound inflections and all this shit with his voice and mumble. This was around the term mumble rap came out, was because of the stuff that he was doing, because many people couldn't understand what he was saying half of the time. And so that was my biggest problem. If it was just him, it'd be one thing, but there have been people that have ran with this style that sound just like him. Shout out to Lil Key.
That shit to do with him. Why
yeah, because I knew that was going to happen though. Because to me, it's not good music. And anytime anything is popular, people always run and try to duplicate and bite it. It happens all the time. And I knew that was going to happen. And I'm pissed off that my premonition came true. And here we are, because that adds legs to him. That adds life to him, in my opinion. And here we are still talking about him 8 years later, and I got to review this whack ass album.
It's because he's a beast. Here's where you're off on this. Jay-Z is popular. How many times have you heard people come out and try to rap like Jay-Z over the last 30 years? Maybe 3?
People have tried it for sure.
Yeah, not a lot though. It didn't spawn off like you're talking about with Young Thug. The greatness in what he does and what irritates you, he makes it look so easy. Everybody should be able to get in there and do that shit. Everybody thinks that they can, but they can't. They can't do the voice inflection. They can't do the sounds. It don't sound as good as it sound when Young Thug do it. Future got the same problem. Fact. Like it sounds like it should be so fucking remedial, so easy to do, but it's not. Because if it was, then you wouldn't just have one Young Thug and all of these spawns. You have several successful people that sound like this. Now, this rap isn't for me. I acknowledge that. But it does sound good now that I've listened to him more and his approach and how he does things. Okay, I get it. And like you said, there's a lot more of it out there.
Yeah.
So it's not as like intolerable on the ears anymore. And him being the person that started it and who, in my opinion, is the best at it, I can digest this more so than any of the mini-me's. Like that don't even, you try to listen to too much shit, that's your problem. That shit don't even come across my desk. I'm not even listening to a nigga that sound like Young Thug. I'm barely listening to Young Thug. So if a nigga tell me, hey, he sound like trash can, like delete it out my library, bro. If you sound like Young Thug. Yeah. And that ain't knocking him, that's knocking you.
If you are a Young Thug, delete it out of my library. Like
you got now you do have Young Thug fucked up though.
No,
dude is a beast.
Listen,
like I appreciated it even more listening to this album. I can't wait to get into it. Dude, a beast, man.
No, he's not.
He's a beast.
He had a very interesting rollout leading up to this album. He did a Tiny Desk.
You like the cover art?
The cover art is cool. I do like the cover art. I actually like the original art that it's based on a little bit better. I think it's more well done, but this is still clean though. I do like the artwork.
Yeah, this is like a hip hop version of the original piece.
Yeah,
the
for
original
sure.
Piece is fire.
The original piece is dope as fuck.
Let me get that in
This is
my
cool.
house.
It's a nice flip. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the cover. That's about it. The cover, the best thing about the album. I'm gonna be real. He did a rollout with the tiny desk, which is that's the move right now. People were excited about that. Then he also, oddly enough, smashed him and Gunna smashed a pink Rolls Royce that had Punk painting all over it. That was the rollout. That's when I knew we were in trouble. When you got
Oh,
to do
shut
shit like that. And then he went to the Breakfast Club for the first time ever, squashed his beef with Charlemagne. Then I knew for a fact when I hit play on this album, I was gonna be let the fuck down, disappointed, put to sleep, however you want to say it, because he's doing all of like the promo shit that he's never done before. It all seemed forced. If you sat through that 45-minute Breakfast Club, kudos to you. You are a bad motherfucker because I couldn't do it. I gave it
Why?
like 7 minutes and got out of there running and screaming.
Why?
What you try to? Did you watch that shit?
No, I don't watch Breakfast Club.
Exactly. That's my point.
Well, you watch it though. Why did you not watch his interview? I don't watch it at all.
I tried. I've never watched an interview with Young Thug, so I wanted to hear what he was talking about. I thought it was
Right.
interesting.
And I'm saying, what did he do that made you get out of there?
Man, he talks like how he raps. Like it's very scatterbrain, bro. I can't follow that shit. I don't want to follow that, bro.
You're a hater.
He does, nigga. Read the comments, dude. That's my thing.
I mean, I just wanted to know what made you get out of there. Like, you just don't like Young Thug. You should just come out.
Niggas don't have to listen to me, man. Go to the Breakfast Club Young Thug interview and read the comments, dude. It's not just me, people. It's not.
Oh,
I can't do it, bro.
Yeah. Again,
I'm not getting nothing out of it, dude. I'm not getting nothing
out of his music. You just don't.
No, I'm saying his interview. I'm just speaking just on the interview. I'm not getting shit from it.
Okay, the rollout. That's where we were. Nice tee up. I understand what you're saying from the perspective of someone who doesn't like him, like you. But the things that you're saying that he's doing show me that he's preparing to take the next step. This is only his sophomore album, which I did not know. Now, if you're telling me that he's going to Breakfast Club, you act like you've never seen the luxury car smash up rollout. J. Cole did this in the mud with the luxury cars when he dropped this song for Middle Child, I believe. So like these are things that A-list rappers do, and this is the ascension that he's about to take with this album. The point that I was arguing up and down in the group chat on Saturday. Young Thug is if he's not a superstar yet, he's heading that way based off this album. So he's doing the press for that. He's taking the approach for that. This is the album that turns him into an A-lister if he wasn't already. I think he kind of was at the bottom tier of it. Shout out to Big Jeff. I kind of agree with his point more now that I've gotten more feedback on it. He's like a bottom of the A-list, but this album is putting him to the top of it. I promise you that.
Just a little bit of insight into the group chat. The question was posed, is Young Thug a superstar?
Mm-hmm.
And at first I thought yes. It depends on how we're quantifying superstar. Are we counting it like how they do in sports, where if you're in the Hall of Fame, then you're just in the Hall of Fame, you got a green jacket? Nigga, it's punters in the Hall of Fame next to Dion. And we know who's the better player.
But that don't take away from them being a great punter.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing that you're doing. You're trying to take over. You're trying to say, oh, well, he raps. He got to sound like J. Cole. No, bro. If he rap and he punt, then he only got to be as good. That's the best punter.
No, I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. So if we're looking at it like that, then he's a superstar. If you're looking at it tiered, meaning there's a top tier of the pyramid, the household names, the crossover acts, the people who have done stadium tours worldwide, then he's not that. Those exist. Drake, Kendrick, Cole, those exist. Young Thug's not that though. He hasn't been the headline on a stadium tour. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't headlined a Coachella. He hasn't done a halftime show at the Super Bowl like Kendrick finna do. Like he hasn't done that yet. Yeah, not yet. But I'm saying today he's not a superstar. So depending on how we're measuring it. So that was the conversation in the group chat. This album, you wanted to get to this album. What did you think when you first listened to it though?
First listening to this album again, measured expectations because I'm not going in looking for J. Cole or Nas or fucking Jay-Z. So listening to it, I'm listening for the bop, the sounds, or whatever the kids call the hot tracks nowadays. And as I go through it, I heard a lot of them. I heard a lot of them that I'm hitting. Okay, save to my playlist. This is cool for if I'm riding somewhere and want to put on just some feel good music or not anything that has too much thought to it. Like it's real. It's like popcorn music. It's real good for like if you watching a movie or doing not watching a movie literally, but like popcorn is good for when you're watching a movie. This music is good for if you're doing something and you ain't really paying attention to the music. I'm driving, just got someone in the background, want to vibe. There's like a little set going on or a house party or whatever the kids call it nowadays. This is that type of music. I feel like he has a lot of like vibe, lounge worthy, chilling songs. And he made I think he did a successful job in making an album for people in his lane, like people that listen to Young Thug, people like him. He could ride around. I could see him ride around listening to his album. It's just that type of music for people like him. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I get the whole, yeah, this is cool in the background. This is cool, more like ambient noise while you're doing something. XYZ. I thought it sounded good on mute. I thought it was when I hit mute,
Get out of here.
then it slapped like that. That's when I was like, okay, I get it now. It makes
How long
sense
did you work
now.
on that? How long did you work on it now?
That listen, man, this shit, bro. When I first listened to it, you know what? Actually, when I first hit play, I thought it was admirable the direction he was trying to go in. I'm gonna be real. I thought it was admirable. He's on here with the acoustic guitar. I remember him doing the Tiny Desk thing with the acoustic guitar and all this type of shit, man. So I'm not mad at trying to blend genres and stretch the boundaries of hip hop. I'm cool with that. I'm admiring that. But after 4, 5, 6 songs with the acoustic guitar, I'm like, bro, stop, nigga. Oh, you fucking NDRE. Like, stop with the acoustic guitar, nigga. Like we on fucking unplugged, dude. That's not the wave. Go ahead and give the people what they want. The 808s, the bops, you on the hook, and you call in your superstar friends to save some of these records. And he did that on a few, and those are the few that work for me, the ones where he is not the prominent figure on them. He is more the side. Like he can't be the main attraction for me. And shout out to Big Jeff. You mentioned this earlier. He said that Jeff said he can only take him in doses. He prefers him as a feature, but it's hard to listen to a full body of work of just him. I understand that, and there are artists like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nate Dogg was probably the hardest hook person in the world, but niggas wasn't listening to no Nate Dogg solo shit, bro. Same, you could argue that for Ty Dolla $ign. Like Ty Dolla $ign sound good on a lot of people's shit. I'm not that amped to listen to a full length Ty Dolla $ign album though. I'm just not, because the type of music it doesn't resonate. He's a super dope feature artist. I'm cool on the solo shit. Now, Young Thug is not a super dope feature artist. He's okay. He adds a little bit of flavor sometime, but he's a terrible solo artist. Like 20 tracks, bro, kill me, dude. Shoot me now, bro.
I get the vibe. This is a stadium music vibe. I want to take a page out of Post Malone book and blend genres that way. If he able to do it, then I'm going to do it and put some trap shit on it. I love it. I like the approach that he took to it. I think this album is going to be played for. This is stadium music. Like this is one that he'll be touring. Yeah, he's going to be touring to this album in big ass stadiums as he's on his rise to being a superstar. And
Hard Rock Cafe, dude. That's it.
Oh, get out of here.
That's the max.
The songs that worked for me.
Yes,
let's
please
get into those
because this will be quick.
No, because there were a lot. J. Cole's verse, I love that. That song called "Stress." It was banging.
I like how he was talking street shit and nobody questioned him, but Drake said he'll die for his lyrics and everybody hated it. But go ahead.
What?
Where's Glasses Malone? Where are you at, sir? Where are you at when J. Cole says he'll die behind his money?
Well, first of all, you know that line, right? You do know that line.
Die behind my money, or the how he came in,
the refurbished line that he came in on.
Yeah, that was refurbished. I'm talking about the line at the end.
That he'll die by it. What's wrong with that?
What was wrong with Drake saying he'll die behind the lyrics in his phone? What are we talking about?
Drake is acting like a thug.
What is
J. Cole is just stating that he will die behind. Like Drake is talking about shooting other people behind his money. We'll do this and we'll do that.
No, he's not, dude.
That was the problem, Nick. Well, that's the way the Glasses understood it from when he told us, right? That he was rapping like a thug. J. Cole wasn't rapping like a thug. He's just letting you know what happened if you fuck with his money.
Nigga, what happened?
Thuggish about that. What happened to a nigga if he fuck with your money?
Both of
What
these
are you
niggas,
gonna like? It ain't
listen.
nothing thuggish about it, dude.
both of these niggas have been slapped up by Puff, dude. They the last niggas to be talking about
I don't know
anything.
nothing about
I'm
that.
talking, and Drake, my boy, and I'm
I don't
saying
know
that
nothing
about him
about that.
too, dude.
That ain't
These
what
the
J.
two-
Cole
these
said.
the last
J.
two
Cole didn't
niggas-
say he got slapped up by Puff. That ain't what he said.
No, of course he didn't say that.
Look, the songs that are working, stupid / asking, that flip at the end going into asking, I thought that was banging. Next I got Rich Nigga with Juice World, fire. They go to 808s that you were looking for right there. And also lastly with your man Drake and Travis Scott, that bubbly. I like those. I think those were banging.
The
None
Drake
of
and
the
Travis
songs work
Scott
for you.
song is cool, bro. But like, I'm here. I thought Travis Scott floated on it. I thought his part
like
was
Drake?
tough. I liked his part.
You like Drake? Your man?
Drake's part was just okay. Like he didn't just really snap on that like it. He not like Drake has the voice and the flow to make it look like he's saying something on anything. Like he just knows how to ride those type of beats. But he wasn't just his verse wasn't just the coldest. That was a low key throwaway feature. If we being honest, that was a throwaway feature, and that's my
So
nigga.
you
that was a
flat
throwaway.
out hating on this album. You're not gonna give
No.
him
That was a throwaway.
for you to hate on the Drake verses, like
He didn't kill that, bro. And that's my,
all-time
that's my boy. He didn't kill that, bro. He didn't kill that.
I think you ripped it.
I don't believe
That's
that.
an all-time low for you. This is I'm
Um,
letting you know now, as a friend, this is an all-time low for you. It doesn't look good.
This is an all time
You don't
low
wear it
moment
well.
listening to this album, dude.
You
There
don't
was
wear
one
it well.
song that I did like
One song that I
a
did.
little bit that he was by himself that I thought worked, and that was Contagious. I did think that worked. 1 for 20. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Oh, and Rich Nigga shit, because my boy Kanye co-produced it, which explains why you
banging.
love the beat so much. So if I
Yeah.
walked in the Strokers and Rich Nigga
If
shit
only
was playing,
Kanye stuck to beats. the
nah,
world would be a
hell no.
better
Don't put him in no
place.
box. Don't
The
put him in a
world would
box.
be a better place. Nigga walking around with Michael Myers mask on with fucking
Facts, nigga. It's scary out here, nigga. Spooky, nigga.
yeah, it is scary. And haircut is scary that he got. That's
If
what's
I-
scary.
If I walked into Strokers right now and they were playing that Rich Nigga shit, it would have a nice vibe in that environment for the 2 minutes and 20 seconds that the song is, however fucking long it is. But that's it though, man. Everything else. Let me get into what I like. I mean, to what I dislike, which was the rest. Any and everything that he did by himself was trash. Any of the NDR acoustic guitar bullshit was trash. Dropping Jewels, nigga didn't drop no jewel. Hey, have a song called Dropping Jewel. You don't drop no
Dropping
jewels.
Jewels was fire. That's
No,
probably
it
my
wasn't.
favorite song on there. I can't believe that I forgot to mention
Nigga
it.
wasn't talking about
got
shit,
it
man. He
wrote
wasn't
down
dropping
right here.
shit. My problem with Young Thug is it's hard to understand him completely. Like I have to listen extra hard, and then when I listen, he not saying nothing. So you just made me work to hear you
just don't
not say
get it.
shit, and I don't
It's- you
appreciate that.
Just admit that some of it goes over your head and you don't like that.
It's just not
That's
good
the
music, bro.
real thing. It goes over your head and you just don't like it. You don't like having
tried.
to ask a nigga, what did this mean? You don't like that. Say that.
A nigga text me and said, "Bro, what does this Young Thug line mean?" And I had nothing for him. I said, "Bro, I don't have a fucking clue." And neither
that's
does
the
he.
biggest- that's one of the biggest mistakes in hip hop history, texting you about a Young Thug line.
Man,
I
put
said that
I put in the
originally.
group chat and no one had any answers.
I mean, tell him to go to they got a website for that.
They
What's
don't
the
know
name of
either.
it? What's the name of that shit?
Genius don't even know.
Yeah, tell him go to Genius. Nigga,
They don't
you wanna
know.
what the line mean. Go to Genius.
They don't know. They don't know what he's talking about. What didn't work on here besides the whole album?
I didn't like the song with Doja Cat. And
Oh
I
my
did-
god.
that song was trash to me. I didn't like the Gunna features. I'm just not now. I don't feel as strongly about Gunna as you feel about Young Thug, but that's just one artist that I don't get. I've never heard him rip it. I don't understand Gunna. And
Me
that
neither.
is like that was one that I didn't need it at all.
If you had to rate it, how many reels out of 5?
I'm giving that Punk 3.5 reels. Dope.
That's crazy as fuck.
This is a dope album, man. This is a dope project. I think it's going to ascend Young Thug to superstar status, to being an A-list celebrity, to heading the festivals and heading the concerts that you were speaking of before we started the review. This is the album that's going to do it, man.
Yeah, this is the easiest rating of all time. This is the easy easy one real album. And shit is flawed, bro. It is fucking trash,
No
bro.
way this is worse than Meek Mill.
And
No
Meek
way.
Mill way better than this. And
no way.
I actually we reviewed that last Young Thug, the So Much Fun, and there was actually some shit I took away from that and didn't mind it. Like there was some joints that I didn't mind on there, at least a handful that I rocked with on that project. This is giving me nothing. Like I've tried. I listened to it in a whip. I listened to it in really good ass headphones. I listened to it everywhere. Nothing. I listened to it in the gym. I listened to it everywhere, dude. This shit was buns, dog. And like it reminds me, I don't know, have you know the dude that people be walking with where they rapping a cappella and the dude walking with the little guitar? Have you seen them little clips? I don't know the homie name, but he do it with different artists and shit.
Mm-mm.
And so Desi did a skit. And he was walking and rapping with the dude. I don't know how he linked up with the dude with the guitar, but he was walking and